Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another reaction video. If you're new here for the very first time, my name is TMR and over here we talk reactions and reviews. What's goody everyone? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is a-okay. And now that I got your attention, make sure before you leave you subscribe to this YouTube channel and most definitely make sure you click that notification bell because they do go hand in hand. So therefore every time I drop a new video, you'll be the first one to know it. Hey everybody, again, thank you so much for clicking on this video. And of course, from the title, you already know what we're talking about. We're going to discuss Strong Mommy CHRISSY, okay? So if you're not familiar, Strong Mommy CHRISSY is a single mom here on the platform. She's also a mom of 9 children. And for the past almost year, Strong Mommy CHRISSY has been going through a lot. She has went through a recent breakup with her husband of 5 years. She just birthed another baby last year in August, which made her 9th child. And she just recently relocated from Las Vegas to Texas because she had some issues in Las Vegas where she lost her home and she decided to relocate to Texas. So you guys, we're going to react off her video. She did a video yesterday, basically a couple days ago, you guys. Information was leaked onto YouTube that her husband, who she is still married to and have not divorced yet, there was a picture of a woman from Facebook who obviously is in a relationship with her husband and is currently 5 months pregnant. So that information was leaked on here to YouTube, and Strong Mommy CHRISSY did a live a couple days ago basically to address, yes, the woman is pregnant and yes, he still is my husband. So she did a video yesterday, you guys, basically the aftermath of that live and basically discussing how her feelings are currently as today or when she filmed that video. So of course we're gonna go ahead and play her video and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts and opinions to Strong Mommy CHRISSY's video.
You're getting no real grass. It's really sad. There's so many trees around my house. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Have some backyard.
So she's in her new house and she's describing the backyard. She's outside in the backyard.
So much fun. Like I can't wait for the summer. I love it here. Okay? And just come and talk to you guys about some of what I was talking about last night. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how I really feel about everything that's going on right now with my ex, but still current husband having a baby. And since the live stream, I've had a ton of people reach out to me and just be like, sis, you're so strong. You know, I don't know how you do it. Can it be me? And things like that. And I really appreciate everybody's words of encouragement and just...
So really quick, you guys, she said, you know, as you heard, a lot of people has been reaching out to her and DMing her. And you know what? Unfortunately for Strong Mommy CHRISSY here on the platform, a lot of people have mixed emotion about Strong Mommy CHRISSY. You know, here recently, a lot of people saying, you know, she has a lot of arrogance. A lot of people were having mixed feelings about her, you know, being evicted from her last home and having to, and basically relocating across the country from Las Vegas to Texas. So a lot of people, you know, has mixed feelings, but there are a lot of people that support Strong Mommy CHRISSY. There are a lot of women that understands where she's coming from and can relate to her issues of being a mom of so many children.
Lifted in high spirits. And here's the thing, guys. I know you guys want me to be mad so bad. Even if I was mad, would I be wrong for being mad? You know what I'm saying? I mean, technically, we're not in a relationship, but he is still my husband.
So, of course, you guys, finding out that your husband has another woman pregnant, I mean, especially, all right, considering what Strong Mommy CHRISSY has been through with this man, and she's basically played that out on YouTube. So people would expect, I guess people expected for her to come on her live stream and cuss him out and cuss her out. And you know what? She probably did do that, but she doesn't have to show us that emotion on YouTube. I mean, some things, although this woman vlogs her life, some things should be left private. and basically her expressing her emotions on how she's feeling. Obviously, she did that in the confines of her home. She probably expressed that to her really close friends or family members, you know, her mom, or, you know, as you guys know, Liv's Life, Jasmine from My Jazzy Life. She probably expressed that to them, but she's not going to express that to the world.
So I feel like if I wanted to be angry or sad or whatever feeling I have, I feel like it should be understood and accepted. I'm not mad about it, but I feel like everybody wants me to be mad. They're like, oh, you're so pressed. You're trying to act like nothing's wrong with you. You can see it in your...
Oh, she says she's not mad. You know what? She most definitely is disappointed, okay? Now, mad could mean a lot to different people, you know, the way she expressed it, mad, but she is disappointed. Of course she's disappointed. You know, she was married to this man. She shares 3 children with him. He abandoned her and then went and basically, from what it looks like, started a life with another woman. Now, I do understand, you know, she did say, you guys, that she's had conversations with him. And maybe there was some conversations of him maybe talking about them getting back together, and now that she's seeing that this woman's pregnant, because it's obvious that CHRISSY didn't know that. It's obvious when she, you know, came on her platform and on her live and told everyone, yes, my husband has another woman pregnant. My personal feeling is she found out that information like maybe that day. Like she just found that out. So again, I think what people might want is her get on here screaming and hollering and cussing them out. I remember CHRISSY did that video last year where she basically was, you know, replicating Waiting to Exhale, where she took his clothes and, you know, burned them or cut them up and, you know, threw them out in the trash. You know, those were the emotions she expressed to us then, right? So people are probably thinking, well, if you did that in that video, then where is the emotion of finding out that he's pregnant? You know, and again, you guys, she's had almost a year to kind of understanding that, you know, if anything, y'all, she know that man better than we do, okay? She was married to him, right? And maybe a lot of stuff she told us about him, she didn't tell us about him, but she already knows what he's capable of, because again, y'all, she been with that man for 5 years, so she already know what he's about.
There's only so much care I can give somebody. I gave him 5 years of my life. I gave him 5 years of my life. I gave him 3 beautiful children, and that wasn't enough for him. So obviously he went and found what was enough for him. So yes, I do understand he is completely on Facebook and they look happy. But you know what? Social media can make anybody look happy. Okay.
So with saying that, you know, look, he has moved on, okay? So us as women, when we are in love with men and we see that they have moved on and we kind of are still stuck where we're at, yeah, of course we would, you know, say, well, yeah, y'all may think he look happy, but social media can make anybody look happy. Guys, I seen the photos from Facebook and he just looks like a man with another woman, okay? Now, obviously right now, in the beginning of anything, it's always good, right? But if he doesn't change who he is and how he treats women, then the situation with this new woman obviously will probably end up like Strong Mommy CHRISSY's and all the women before Strong Mommy CHRISSY.
Entertain the idea and say that he's actually genuinely happy. I'm happy for him. Would I have rathered him probably going through a divorce before he full-fledged jumped into a whole family? Somebody else, yeah, I probably would have appreciated not to be attached to him in any way.
And obviously she would, you know, when you find out your man has went on with someone else, obviously you would want to make sure that the relationship y'all had is ended and it's no longer valid, right? But I would say this, Strong Mommy CHRISSY, again, she knew who she was dealing with, right? She knows that man's behavior. She knows his pattern, right? And what she should have done, again, initially when he left, of course, she probably felt somewhere deep down that maybe they can rekindle what they had. Some time apart would bring them back together. But once 3, 4, 5, 6 months went by and obviously he wasn't trying to be a husband and he wasn't back in the home helping you with the children, you know, that was at that time, it should have been her motivation to go ahead and sever the ties that bind. Because CHRISSY also spoke, you know, last year that she had started dating. So once you had started dating and you probably knew that he was moving on, that should have been the time. And I do understand a lot of people say, well, why should she have to be the one when, you know, they both were married? Again, y'all, I don't know the beginning and the ending, but obviously he left her, right? So he left her. So if he left her, then it should have just made her instinctively know, well, then, you know what? Let me be the woman and let me sever these ties because I have to move on myself. And obviously, you know, she can't move on still being married to him. Y'all, you know, it's easy for men to do that because like the old saying go, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he throw his hat is his home. So there's no song for women like that, but there most definitely is song for men like that. So we know it's easy for men to move on knowing they still got a whole family over here, but now they didn't went and bought and you know, went and created a family somewhere else. So it's more easier for men to do that, but it's harder for women, especially if we're women with children involved. It's much harder for us, right? But you know, it's just when you go through things like this and it's so emotional, when you have children, a lot of us women, we try to hold it together for the children. But what women need to understand is children is never the glue to keep a relationship together. What keeps the relationship together is communication, y'all emotion, y'all love for each other. The children are a good benefactor, but it's not always the sole reason it should if a relationship will stick together.
You know, my children before he did that, but I can't make people do or not do whatever. I take great comfort in knowing that I'm a queen, okay? And I've told him this before. I'm a queen, okay? And I know what I deserve and what I don't deserve. I don't deserve this treatment. And it solidifies my choice to divorce him, solidifies my choice that I will never be with him, and he does not deserve me.
And you know what? That's good that she's thinking that now that she's found this information out now. But when she did that video about a week or so ago on her cooking channel, when she said that she reached out to him to see how he was doing because she was worried about him. And obviously she still had love for him. And whatever the conversation that they had, now that she's finding this information out, obviously the words that he spoke was not true. And yes, you are a queen. You most definitely are. But one thing I will say about a man that's no good, he'll come through the door acting like he's this, but eventually a tiger gonna always show their stripes, right? And CHRISSY obviously seen red flags, but us as women, we try to ignore those red flags because we as women, we try to mother these men. And we really feel like we can change these men and make these men better. Or we can change these men and mold them into being the man that we need. And you most definitely can't do that. You need a man coming to you already prepared, right? He needs to already be molded and fixed for you. And that's why, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but that's why you need to let God send you who you want or who you need, right? Because he most definitely knows your heart and he knows what is best for you. Instead of us going out here doing the choosing, let him choose. Let him sit back and just wait and prepare yourself mentally and physically as a woman. So when God does put that right man in your life, you will be ready for him. Because right now, CHRISSY's not ready for a man, right? Because she is mentally, spiritually, and emotionally broken. Of course she is. Even if she doesn't say it. Like she loved him. It took time for her to gain that love. It's going to take time for that love to leave. She loves him now, right? But she hates him for how he's done to her, what he's done to her. You know, basically, you know, embarrassed her publicly, knowing that she is, you know, public influencer. And he decided to let this woman take pictures and post them on Facebook. Now, again, you guys, that's that woman's Facebook page and that's her business. But with you knowing that your wife is a social media influencer, personal thought is I would have thought he would have had just a little bit more regard for this woman. I do understand y'all said, well, he left her, so obviously he didn't have any regard for her, but she still is the mother of his children, right? And this is a woman that he wifed. I don't know if he's, you know, wifed any of the other mothers of his children, like if this is his second marriage or third marriage, but from what Chrissy's never said that, so I'm assuming this is this man's first marriage.
All this does for me is just solidify what I already knew, what we all already knew. You know, the grass is always greener on the other side and all that other stuff. You guys know the things. You know how the game goes. I'm not here to tell you. All I'm here to do is let you guys know that I'm going to be okay. All right. What he got going on over there is not going to stop me from doing the same thing that I've been doing. Getting to the bag, concentrating on my family, my kids, myself. You know, like I said, the only thing that it did was solidify the things that I already knew I did not want from the man. The only thing that I want him to do is be a good father for my boys.
And of course, you want him to be a good father for your boys. Yes, you do. But first of all, he has to learn how to be a good person to people, right? He has to learn how to respect you as well, because even though you guys are eventually going to be divorced, you're still going to have to co-parent, right? So, you know, y'all need to work on that co-parenting relationship to make sure you and him can communicate well. Because if you and him communicate well, then the communication with the children is going to be even much better. But if you're in a space where you hate him and you don't want him, you know, contacting you, then how can he contact the children? Because the children are not old enough to contact him. They need you. They need to go. He has to go through you in order to get through him. So what I think, and that goes not just for Chrissy, but that goes for any woman. You need to just pray on the relationship between you and that man, right? Yeah, so you can co-parent well. Even if y'all not going to be in a romantic relationship anymore, that's understandable. Like, that's already understood. We're not going to be in a romantic relationship, but you definitely are always going to be in a relationship, and that's a co-parenting relationship. So that has to be worked on first before you can even filter the relationship with those children, because he has to go through you to get through those children. So the lines of communication has to be correct and proper between you and him before they can be good between you, him, and those children, or him and those children.
Regardless of who he has children with, regardless of how he treats me, you know, or what he did to me or does to me or whatever, that has nothing to do with them. So at the end of the day, I'm not concerned with what he's got going on over there. I just really want him to focus on my children. Any other kids outside of my kids, I'm not focused on. Any other relationships outside of the relationships that he's supposed to have with my children, I am not concerned about.
And that's understandable, because when she was as being his wife and they were still living under the same roof, then of course any children he had outside of them, she would have to be responsible or respectable to those relationships, because they're in a union. So you have to respect anything that came before you, right? But now that they are going to divorce and they're not going to be together anymore, then she doesn't have to worry about the other relationships with his other children and the other baby mothers, because she's not in a relationship with him. It's going to be his job to make sure that all his children have a relationship with each other. It's not it's not the responsibility of the mother. Now, there are situations where women don't get along with the man, but they manage to get along with the man's other baby mothers, and then those moms together make sure the children, the brothers and sisters on both sides, have a relationship, and that's great. But it sounds like right now, at this current moment, Chrissy's not in that space, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't really be in that space right now too. Obviously, it's going to take her some time to heal from the pain of knowing what he has done, and then maybe later on down the line, she can, even if she doesn't have a relationship with him, she can try to reach out to the other mothers, because I think it's important, y'all. Kids should know, especially when you have a situation where, you're a woman and you have kids by different men, and then those men have children, so those children are siblings, although they're not all your kids. I think it's important that all the children know each other and have a relationship, because what you don't want, honey, you don't want these kids growing up not knowing that they got other brothers and sisters and potentially go out into the world as an adult and end up marrying or dating their brother or their sisters. Never made it a point to make sure all the kids knew who each other were. Like, this is your brother, this is your sister. Obviously, this is not my child, but this is your father's child from other relationships, or this is your mom's children from other relationships. A lot of times, y'all, you find that doesn't happen. And me personally, I just think that's horrible because, again, these kids can grow up to be adults and start dating potentially their brother or their sister and never knew it.
I've already done that. I've already been there. I spent 5 years married to him. I'm still married to him, technically, even though he's my ex, which is kind of weird when you put it like that. But, you know, I can't put a lot of energy into it. I can't put any more energy into it than I have doing the live stream last night and this video. I know that I have 9 kids, and I know that that's a lot, and I know that I may not find anybody right now, but one day somebody is going to come along and they're going to love me and all 9 of my children. They're going to accept me and all 9 of my children. They're going to hold me and have me and be my rock, be my supporter, be my cheerleader, and I'm going to do all those things for that person too. And
you know what? I've noticed throughout her video, CHRISSY mentioned that a lot. She mentioned the fact that one day she's going to find somebody to love her for who she is and the fact that she has 9 children. And you know what? She will. She will one day find that. But what I think CHRISSY needs to focus on is not, I'm not saying she's focusing on this, but I think what she really needs to do is just understand that eventually that will happen, but right now that can't happen, because until you heal from this situation, she mentioned in the video that she did date, you know, of course, after her husband left her, she ended up dating, and she kind of needed that. She needed some reassurance that she still got it, you know. But what you have to understand is, and us as women, we do feel like that sometimes, but that's not good, because what you have to know is, of course, that man is going to want you, because if he likes women and you're a cute woman or you're an attractive woman and you obviously have the things that men like in women, you know, big butt, big boobs or whatever, then yes, he's going to want to date you, you know. But what people have to understand is when you start dating the man, and we're going to speak in the woman's perspective, because I'm speaking to the women right now. The man is not just dating you. He's dating everything that comes with you. So however many children you have, he's actually dating all of you guys, right? Because you have to make sure that he's a good fit, not only for you, but for your children too. Be a good fit for you, and then he doesn't get along with some of those children, you know? So that's important too. But she did speak a lot about that. She kept, like, to me, it's like she was really speaking to him. Not really to us, the audience. I think she was really speaking more to him, letting him know, like, look, I'm going to find me somebody. I thought I did when I married you, but obviously you weren't that somebody. And I'm going to move on because, of course, I'm forced to move on. But I'm going to find somebody. And she just she kept repeating that. She repeated it like 4 times in the video. And I really felt like she was really saying that to him as a reassurance to him. But what CHRISSY has to know, she no longer has to prove anything to him, right? She has to prove everything to herself, right? And that goes for women, period. Y'all, you don't have to prove nothing to that man. Yeah, I'm going to find somebody that'll love what you don't like somebody else to love. Yeah, baby, you don't have to prove that to him. You got to prove that to yourself.
Wanting to be a family unit, and this is something that I already see in my future. It may not be within the next, you know, it may not be soon. It may not be till, you know, 10 years from now. Who knows? But I know, I feel it in my soul that a good man is going to come along, and he is going to step into the situation. He's going to step up, and he's going to be what I deserve. Guys, listen. Don't go.
You guys, as you just heard, she, you know, said as of right now, it probably won't be a man, or maybe, you know, in the near future or 10 years from now. You know what, y'all? I think a lot of CHRISSY is, you know, regretting the fact that she got herself in this situation. Not that she's regretting her children, okay? But she's probably feeling like maybe I should have thought a little bit more before I started, you know, having all these children. What I really think, and this, again, you guys, I'm not a professional, but again, I know my situation, right? I know other people that I know personally that has a situation like CHRISSY. And what I think was, you guys, every time CHRISSY got with a man, she really probably felt like, oh, this might be the one. And what CHRISSY does is she has a child for him. Again, y'all, thinking a child is going to keep a relationship together, and obviously it doesn't. You know, I said this to you guys before, and what CHRISSY has to understand, and it's not just her, but women in general, when you keep going in and out of relationships, right? And we're quick to blame the man. He's a no good ninja. He this, he that, he this, he that. But a lot of times what you have to understand is you could be at fault too, right? Because it takes two to tango. You can't be in a relationship by yourself. And what I think CHRISSY needs to look at is the fact that she, however many baby daddies that she has, she obviously was the common denominator in all those relationships. And because she was the common denominator in all those relationships, although there were different men, but she was the constant. So maybe she needs to look at the fact that, look within herself to see what is it going on with her. The fact that she has 9 children, I mean, it's going to be, some men will be a little apprehensive. I mean, y'all, we just got to think of the reality to it, because if it's a real good man, he wants to be able to come in and provide for her and those children, especially if this man has children outside of CHRISSY. So that means he's going to have to factor in the fact that he has to care for his kids and obviously care for her kids. And, that's a lot. But of course, it's not like it's impossible. What I think CHRISSY needs to do is she just needs, again, you guys, she needs to let God bring her that man, right? And in the midst of her doing what she's supposed to be doing, getting herself together, getting her kids together, getting her finances together, and as she's doing so much to get her and her household together, she won't have time to think about a man and, when he's going to come knocking on the door. My honest opinion is, if I was CHRISSY, because I have been in her shoes before with that situation, I would refrain from even trying to date right now. You guys, the old saying is the way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. And, you guys, that's just a saying, but a lot of times that's not true. Because one thing I do know is you got to get your mental together. And if your mental is not together, that baggage from that old relationship, you could possibly bring it into a new relationship. And I think that be a problem. That's a problem for a lot of women. We bring we harbor those feelings from the past relationships, and we bring them into the new relationship thinking that all men are the same, and all men are not the same. Every man is not out to dog you. Every man is not out to abuse you financially, mentally, physically. Every man is not like that. But if you go into a relationship with the scars from that other relationship, then you could potentially run off something good. Now, what I will say is you always should go into every relationship with your guard up, right? Go on with your guard up, because you got to protect your heart. Because if you don't protect your heart, nobody else will protect your heart. You guys, we're not going to go through all of Strong Mommy CHRISSY's video, because I don't want to make this video really long. If you want to go and listen to the whole video, you can go over and listen to it. But again, it's basically her, addressing her husband. She also said in the video for people not to go over there and harass that woman. And y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. Why go over there and harass that woman? I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, I'm not in the relationship. I'm not a friend to her husband. I'm not a friend to this new woman, right? But what I do know is, I'm thinking more than likely that man did not tell that woman up front that he was married. And of course, she started dating him. She started liking him. She started gaining feelings for him. They started getting, intimate, and boom. Now she's pregnant, because she got pregnant soon after CHRISSY husband's left. Like, she says she's 5 months pregnant. CHRISSY had her baby in August. So it seems like she got pregnant maybe 2 months after CHRISSY had her baby. So she got caught up in the emotions of dealing with this man, and then finds out that he's married. So by this time, y'all, she caught up. She in these feelings. And maybe she probably dealt with the, should I keep dating him because he is a married man? But you know how men are. They real good at trying to convince you otherwise. But I really feel like CHRISSY's husband owed her the respect, right? And what I would do if I was that woman, do understand that CHRISSY is the wife. Regardless if you knew about the situation in the beginning or you found out about it in the middle, please respect the fact that CHRISSY is still married to that man and stay out of that situation. You let that man handle his relationship with his wife as far as the divorce. I wouldn't get involved in that. Like, if I was the other woman, y'all wouldn't get involved in that, because you got to understand, honey, just the way you will get a man, it's most definitely the way you can lose one, right? And just like you wouldn't want somebody interfering in your relationship, let him and CHRISSY handle that and figure that out, right? Let them deal with that. And if he tries to bring you in that, you stand up and let him know, like, no, I'm not getting involved in that. You handle your situation with your wife, or you won't be handling any situations with me. I do hope Chrissy gets that divorce. I hope she's already let it go on for about a year now. I hope she doesn't let it linger on anymore, because, again, as long as she keeps holding that ties to him, it's going to apprehend her from moving forward with her life, her feelings, her emotions, okay? All right, you guys, I thank you so much for watching this video. I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of my thoughts and opinions on the situation. And again, y'all, I wish Chrissy the best. I hope it works out for her. I do, like I said, I do understand there's a lot of people that don't like that lady. I don't have anything against Chrissy. She's a woman just like I am. You know, I'm a mother just like she is. I've been through bad relationships just like her. So I feel like I can sit and tell somebody this, her or whoever listens to this video, that it most definitely will get better. It just takes time. All right, you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, sub what you love. Bye-bye.